Hey there. Welcome to CyberPulse by Quantum Shield, the podcast where we make cybersecurity less intimidating and a lot more exciting. Every episode, we're diving into the latest digital drama, from sneaky hackers to the coolest defense strategies, all while sharing tips you can actually use. So grab a coffee, get comfy, and let's navigate this crazy digital world together.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive deep again. Today, we're tackling a topic that's absolutely crucial: building secure software.
Yeah, it's more vital than ever.
Right. We've got a ton of great material to dig into, all about making software that can stand up to, well, anything.
Absolutely. And the stakes have never been higher. Think about it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We use software for literally everything.
Exactly. Banking, healthcare, even ordering pizza. It's all code these days.
It's kind of mind-blowing, but it makes you realize how important security is, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about protecting information anymore. It's about making sure these systems we all rely on actually work.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so fascinated by this first idea our sources bring up, this whole concept of least privilege.
Oh, that's a good one. It's fundamental.
It is. It's like, okay, imagine giving out keys to a building, but each key only unlocks one specific door. You don't give everyone access to everything.
Precisely. You limit the damage that a potential intruder could cause. So even if someone gets their hands on a set of keys, they can't just waltz in and access everything.
Like if someone got a hold of, say, your email password,
Right.
they wouldn't suddenly have access to your bank account.
Exactly. You contain the blast radius, so to speak.
I like that. Contain the blast radius. Okay, so that's least privilege, right? But then, on top of that, our sources talk about defense in depth.
Layered security. It's essential.
And it makes total sense. Like instead of a castle with just one wall, you've got multiple walls, a moat, maybe even a dragon or two.
Small f. Right. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket or relying on a single point of failure.
Exactly. So give me an example. Like, how does this layering actually work in a real system?
Okay, so think about it. You've got your strong passwords, right? That's one layer. But then you add firewalls to filter out suspicious traffic.
Okay, that's two.
Then you layer on top-notch encryption to protect data in transit.
Whoa, three. And suddenly it's way more difficult to break
Well,
in.
exactly. It's like a digital fortress. And the more layers you have, the stronger that fortress becomes.
Okay, love that analogy, the digital fortress.
Yeah.
So we've got our castle secured, but now we've got to think about those who are actually trying to get in, right?
Yes. And what they're bringing with them.
Because, as our sources point out, the way users interact with our software, that's a huge part of the security equation.
It's like a gate. You have to be very careful about what or who you let through.
Exactly, and that's where input validation comes in. This
Yeah.
idea is so important. Never, and I mean never, just blindly trust what a user enters into your software.
Right. Because what seems harmless on the surface, like typing in banana when asked for your age,
Okay, yeah, seems innocent enough.
could actually be a sneaky way for bad actors to do some serious damage.
Like what? Give me a real-world example.
Well, think about SQL injection attacks. Hackers can use malicious code disguised as data to try and mess with your database.
Okay, that sounds scary. So what can developers actually do to stop that from happening?
Well, sanitization is key.
Sanitization.
It's basically like cleaning up the user input. You remove anything that looks even remotely suspicious and make sure it's the kind of data your software expects to receive.
Oh, okay, so it's like a filter. I get it.
Exactly. And there are other more advanced techniques too, like parameterized queries.
Now that one sounds a little more complicated.
It's a bit technical, but basically you're predefining the structure of a database query, so it's much harder for hackers to inject anything harmful.
So it's like you have to speak the database's language correctly or it won't work.
Exactly.
Which actually makes me think about the flip side of this whole thing. What about making sure the information our software sends out is speaking the right language?
Oh, that's output encoding, and it's just as important.
Right, because if it's not, it's like a recipe for disasters.
Right, exactly. It's like trying to order a pizza in, say, Japanese from an Italian chef. You're probably not going to get what you want. It's at a list. Or maybe you'll get something totally unexpected. Okay, but seriously, in the software world, what happens if that output encoding is messed up?
Well, that's when you can run into things like cross-site scripting attacks or XSS attacks.
Okay, hold on. Bring that down for me, XSS.
So imagine a malicious script hidden on a website you visit, kind of disguised as something harmless. Output encoding makes sure that your web browser interprets the data correctly, preventing those hidden scripts from actually running.
So it's all about clarity, making sure everyone understands each other.
Precisely. And that's how you prevent chaos.
I love it. Okay, switching gears for a second, because our sources dive into something that I think we all use online all the time, user sessions.
Right. How we manage those sessions securely is so important. And they use this great analogy. Think about a user session like visiting a friend's house.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just want anyone to be able to walk in with your key.
Laughs. Exactly.
So how do we keep those digital keys safe?
That's where secure session management comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
So you need unique session tokens. Those are like personalized ID cards for each user. And you've got to have timeouts in place so that the door automatically locks if someone's inactive for a while.
Oh, like an automatic lock on your front door just in case you forget.
Exactly, because you don't want just anyone waltzing in.
Now, all of this, if I'm understanding correctly, helps prevent this thing called session hijacking, which doesn't sound fun at all.
It's not fun. Imagine someone sneaking in right behind you as you're entering your friend's house.
And then they just steal your identity for the night.
It's like that, but online. Someone taking over your digital identity, accessing your accounts, your information.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the plot of a thriller movie I do not want to be in.
Definitely not a good time.
Okay, so we covered a ton of ground here. We talked about locking down access with least privilege, building fortresses with defense in depth, and even making sure our software speaks the right languages with input and output encoding.
It's like digital hygiene for your code.
That's a great way to put it. So as our listeners continue their own deep dives into the world of software.
And security.
And security, right.
What's one thing you really want them to walk away thinking about?
That's a great question. I think it's this: as we create more and more connected experiences online, are we sometimes prioritizing convenience over security?
Ooh, that is a great question. It's something to think about because finding that balance, that's the real challenge.
It is. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us on CyberPulse. Remember, cybersecurity doesn't have to be scary. It's all about staying sharp and a little bit savvy. Keep learning, stay curious, and don't let those cyber gremlins get you down. Catch you next time, and until then, stay safe, stay smart, and keep crushing it online.